Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be telling you guys about a very serious issue that is going on in the world right now. And the only way to counter this issue is the only thing most people cannot achieve. And I'll explain shortly. So I'll start by addressing that a lot of Americans are struggling financially. A lot of Americans are having problem managing their money, and 61% of them have problem even paying for their basic expenses. And that also means that more than 50% of them are below middle class. And before the pandemic, it was around 40%. Means Americans have really been affected largely because of a few reasons, which I will say later. And this also applies to how much people are suffering right now. Anyways, on to my second point, which is challenges faced by families. So an average and more than average of the people in America are now suffering. And just imagine, for example, a person that wakes up 4:30 in the morning, okay, goes to work at, 7 o'clock. Maybe they have kids to send to school, whatever. They work very hard, and then their spouse also work very hard. Two people had a job, but at the end of the month, after salary, after loans, after everything they need to pay off, without even adding basic needs like food or shampoo and vegetables, without those groceries, they are already incapable to sustain themselves properly. So plus the grocery and stuff like that, they can't even buy just a little bit extra for themselves. There's nothing more for them to spend. And so that also means that every month they're living on a tight budget. And you have to keep in mind, oh wow, that's probably because they're not working hard enough. No, they're already working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, a lot of them. And if they don't work those extra weekends, they won't even get salaries that is enough for them to survive, because they're thinking about week after week. They're not thinking about months and months anymore. They're thinking about every week. So yeah, these are just some of their struggles. And now to my third point, which is one of the most important points in this video, which is how inflation makes things worse. So just imagine, okay, all of that is already happening right now, but inflation is still going, meaning the prices of your basic needs and their every expenses has now increased, even though they are already suffering as much as they are, and it's still increasing every month. How do you expect them to survive that? No, you can't, because their wages are not increasing as fast as inflation. Therefore, they're suffering. And it also means, in other words, even though you're working hard, your money does not go as far as it used to. And now to my fifth point, which makes things even worse, technically, because the solution for them, the modern solution for these families now, is to use credit cards and use their savings. The problems about these solutions is that it's not really a good long-term solution. If you're talking about, I'm trying to just get through the next week, then it looks like a fine solution. But if you use credit cards, whatever you borrow for you to get through this week, you have to try to pay it back next month. And they don't have that kind of money, and that's why they're using credit cards. And the worst part about this is that they're not using credit cards to spend more extra money, but they're using credit cards to pay off what they need. They don't even have enough to pay off what they need. They need to have debts for what they need. Do you understand? And they're using their savings, which most likely came before the pandemic when inflation isn't that bad. And savings can be finished And if you're using off every single paycheck you get, there's no more new savings. And that's why I think they're going to be suffering even worse in the next few months. Before I get there, I want to just tell you that this is not just happening in America. But why I point out America is because America has a lot of stories, and America is practically the most obvious one in the world right now. And I think they're going to suffer even more when the Fed increases interest rates. Because as you can see, they're suffering so much from inflation, right? Means inflation is still high. Now that I've given you a perspective of how hard they're living, you can imagine that now inflation is high and they have to use interest rates to make it come down, right? Oh, sounds like a good idea because they're suffering from inflation. But at the same time, when they raise interest rates, what happens when they raise interest rates? Yes, high unemployment rates. So you see, they're already probably working 2 jobs, but now they have to get fired from one of them, and their wages will decrease. They're gonna suffer more. So that's how people suffer. And now that they see, oh wow, there's a huge opportunity for me to put in money in the bank so I can save money, right? To get the interest because it's still high. Oh, that's a good idea, I'm gonna put it in. But then that little amount is not gonna help them, first of all. Second of all, interest rates are so high, and then they're putting money in their bank. Now they don't have enough for themselves, and they're gonna squeeze the expenses even more, and they're gonna suffer even more. And credit cards. Now that they need credit cards because they don't have enough money to use, and they have to increase interest rates, the rates of them paying back the credit cards are going to increase. No matter by a lot or just slightly, it's going to affect them largely. Because they're already at their end, already at rock bottom. So yeah, that's why in order to make the source of their problem come down, they have to give them another problem. And I don't know if a lot of people can last. Many people are already suffering. So in simple conclusion, inflation has really hit America really hard for average people, and most of the people are living paycheck to paycheck. And this problem has also gave them problem to just pay off basic expenses. And even if you work hard, it's not going to be enough anymore. Working hard is not going to be enough anymore. Do you understand? So yeah, they're really struggling. And so in my opinion, we should really just work really hard. I know I just said work really hard, don't work anymore, but if you don't work really hard, you're just going to be even worse than these people. So in my opinion, just find new ways, better ways to improve ourselves, improve our income before the wave hit us as well. Because as the inflation and interest rates keep affecting people, and at the rate of how fast the interest rate is rising, it will hit us in a matter of time. Even though it's not going to hit some people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about us. We should get ready. So yeah, that's all I have to say today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something out of it. I hope you're more aware of the situation that is happening to us right now, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.